and welcome to our Neuqua Valley PD session for Padlet. Padlet is a digital bulletin board that you can use with students in a variety of ways, and we're going to kind of explore a few of those ways today, including using these for reflections, using them as back channels, using them to share student work. That's really one of my favorite uses, is giving students an authentic audience so that all students can view the creative work of other students. There's a ton of other ways. So hopefully as I'm going through this, some ideas will come up. If you need more ideas, we're just an email or a quick call away. So let's just go through the Padlet interface now. So when you first open Padlet, whether you're using the free version or the paid version that we have at Neuqua, that we'll talk briefly about at the end of how to get you ready to go with that, you're going to have your dashboard. Now your dashboard usually defaults to your last spot that you were on here. You can set up folders. You can look at what you've archived, what you've liked, what you've shared, what you've made, and what's recent. I always try to come to the made one because those are the ones that are just going to be mine then for those. Up here across the top, you have Make a Padlet, Join a Padlet, Gallery, or Manage People. Manage People is just for teachers. Students wouldn't see that. To make a Padlet is really where you're going to do most of your work. You can join other Padlets here. For those, you can also search for Padlets and connect yourself to them in that way, and then they would come up down in here. And then the gallery is just a bunch of sample Padlets. So let's just go through the steps of making a Padlet as quickly as possible. So when you first click on Make a Padlet, they're going to give you the options of how you want to set it up. You can read what each of these are. I'm just going to go over a couple of them real quick here. Wall and grid are really the same thing. Wall will fit them kind of together like a puzzle, whereas grid will keep them in rows. It's kind of just a matter of preference. Canvas allows you to move around the different posts. Stream is just basically a vertical stream. I like shelves a lot because you can add in different topics or questions, and then it's a little bit more organized. If you're just looking to do a back channel for something, you've obviously got this back channel feature. And I've not used the map or the timelines a ton, but there are some cool examples of those if you go look at those galleries a little bit later. So we're just going to start with a wall. I'm going to select wall, and it'll get that started for me. So it'll immediately bring me to the modify screen. This is where you give it a title. We're just going to call this one a sample Padlet. You can add a description. This could be your question or your topic or something like that. You can add a variety of different icons. Let's just pick one real quick here. We'll just put the smiley face in there. You don't have to have an icon, of course. You can change the wallpaper. I'm not going to jump through all of this. You can change the color from more white to more the darker colors. You can go through and change the fonts. If you turn this on, as long as they're signed in, it'll put the students' names with each post or your name. You'll see that when I do one of mine here in a minute. So I'm going to turn that on. First or last basically is where the next post goes. Allow for comments. That gives you an opportunity, your students opportunity to comment on those. Reactions is kind of a fun thing for kids. You can do like, vote, star, grade. You can only do one of them though. I usually do like most of the time. Require approval. You're only going to turn this one on if you want the kids to not see each other's work. If you just want to be able to see yourself and release it there. I always turn on filter profanity. I don't know that this helps at all. I've never had a kid that's told me that wouldn't let him say those words, but you never know. So then you click next, and actually your Padlet's ready to go. The link you would share with your students is right here, but I'm going to go a little bit more into the sharing details after we make a post. So when you create a post, basically you give it a title. So sample post. Let's see if I can actually type today. There we go. Sample post. And then you can give any kind of description you want. Now, you have quite a few things here, so I'm just going to show you them to you by clicking on More. You can upload a file. You can put a link in. I do this a lot of times with the kids. You can actually search for something that you want to add to directly. You can take a screenshot. You can film, so you can actually use your webcam, similar to what you would do with WeVideo. You can record your voice. You can actually do screencasts. You can draw, you can place, and you can add other Padlets. Not all of these are active in the free version, but they are all active in our paid version. So let's just say that I wanted to add a link. Now you can obviously paste that link in there. I'm just going to go with a nice simple one like Google. I know that one. And then what it'll do is if it can, it'll put in a preview of what that actually link looks like. As soon as I click off of that, it's gone. If I, as the teacher, want to go back and edit it, I can edit the post. I can also copy it. I can actually do quite a few different things with each individual post as I go through. For those new posts, move that one over since I said first, and they'll start to slide over and start to roll out. I'll show you a finished one here in just a minute. But one last piece I want to show you is share. So this is where you kind of get your privacy settings set up for different things. You can actually add your students to a specific Padlet and just have them all there right now, and they have to sign in then. That's the only way to ensure that they have to sign in. Now, what I typically do is leave mine as visitors can write. If my students don't sign in, I make sure that they add their names. Now I'll show you where I occasionally get an anonymous one where I have to go back and figure it out. So there is some trade-off there, but at least I know all my kids can easily get in there without dealing with forgetting passwords. So here's where you would change your privacy. Again, it defaults to secret and can write, but you can obviously make it completely private, and that's where you would add all the kids' numbers. You can add a password if you want to. It's not a bad idea either. You can actually make it organizational wide, which means only people that have signed up for this Padlet, that's the sample one that I just noticed that I spelled wrong, but hey, it is what it is, right? So anyway, we're going to go back, and we're going to just leave that there for those. All right, so you get an idea how it's set up, I hope. If you need more help with that, I'm always happy to help. Let me just show you a couple of the Padlets that I've used this year to give you a little bit more sense. If you click on the Padlet right here, that's what takes you back to your dashboard. And let's go to the one we did back with energy. So for energy resources and consumption, you can see I added an icon here. I have a background that's one of their default backgrounds. You can actually upload your own. And you can see different students are able to embed. In this case here, they embedded what looks like a Google Doc, and that, or you can do text. Now this is a student here that didn't actually use the link thing. They just pasted that in there. I always try to redirect them from doing that for those. But you can see the different pieces that are in here. Let's see if I can find one that says anonymous as I scroll through this one, where somebody forgot to sign in, and then hopefully they added their name. Oh, there we go. So see how that one says anonymous, but then Eve and Andrew actually remember to type their names in there for those. But you can see you can get graphics, images, videos, all types of different pieces in here. And this is one here that I had actually put in as that wall piece, so it leaves a little bit of space as they go through those. So that really is the basics of Padlet. So now, if you're interested in using Padlet, you can use the free version, which allows you to have 3 Padlets at a time. So that is the one drawback for those, but it's pretty open and it works pretty well even with that. Or you can actually get set up with the Neuqua Padlet. We have a full subscription to it this year. I think we will next year too. And in that case there, what you're going to want to do is go look at the instructions that are on the page, and that will allow you to request a full version of Padlet, and we'll send you some information connected to that and get that set up. We'll also give you some information if you want to add your students to this so that they actually have to sign in. We'll give you the information on how that happens too. So that's what we have so far with Padlet. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to us. Make sure you take a look at the other resources if you're interested, and I hope this is a tool that you can use.